In this video, we're looking at arithmetic sequences. So an arithmetic sequence is simply defined to be a sequence whereby we have successive terms, and these successive terms have the same difference. And so I'm just going to give an example of an arithmetic sequence to show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to take a trivial one, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. So what we mean by successive terms is that this is term number 1 and it's followed by term number 2 and term number 3 and so on. And then we talk about the difference between successive terms. So what we mean is that the difference between 2 and 1, and the difference between 3 and 2, and the difference between 4 and 3. So this difference must be the same for us to say that a sequence is arithmetic. So in this case, we're going to have 2 minus 1, which will give you 1, 3 minus 2, which gives 1, 4 minus 3, which also gives 1. And so this is the common difference that we refer to. This is the common difference. And this common difference is given the letter, we give it a letter D. We give it a letter D. It's the common difference. And so this common difference can take different signs. So it can either be positive, and sometimes it can be negative. Let me give you an example of a sequence whereby the common difference is negative. So we're gonna have, let me give you an example. This one, 10, 6, 2. Let me give another one, minus 2. So let's find the difference between successive terms. We do it like this. So this is 6 minus 10, that's negative 4. 2 minus 6, that's another negative 4. Minus 2, that's another negative 4. And this is the common difference. This is the common difference, which you give it the letter D. And in this case, the common difference is negative. So we make the following conclusions: that when D is greater than 0, which means when it's positive, the sequence is increasing. And when D is less than 0, which means when it's negative, we have a decreasing sequence. Okay. So for a general sequence, we have the following. It can just be written as the following. We have term number 1. We have term number 2. We have term number 3, and so on and so on, and term number n, whereby n is simply any number in the sequence. So when we talk about this common difference, which is D, we simply say D is equal to term number n plus 1 minus term number n. This is the formula, and just an example, this is simply equal to term number 3 minus term number 2. It's equal to term number 4 minus term number 3, and so on. Okay. I'm just gonna use this section of the page to discuss some formulas. So we've been talking about, we already talked about D. We have, let me just change the color to blue. Okay, we already have D, and we talked about D to be the common difference. Common difference. Okay. We also talked about n, the letter n. So n simply represents the position. So if it's the first term, that means n is equal to 1. If it's the second term, that means n is equal to 2, and so on. And then we also talked about Tn. We have Tn. What Tn is that it's a term of the pattern that is in position 1. In position n, I mean. It's a term of the sequence that is in position n. So, just to recap, we've given a general rule for an arithmetic sequence to say that in an arithmetic sequence, the common difference is the same, and this common difference is denoted as the letter D. So what that is telling us, as you can see back over here, is that since we have the common difference to be equal to 1, how do we get the next term? We simply say 1 plus 1, we get 2. 2 plus 1, we get 3. Okay, and so on. Over here, we're just going to say 10 plus negative 4 to give you positive 6. Positive 6 plus negative 4 to give you positive 2. Positive 2 plus negative 4 to give you negative 2, and so on. So this means we can sort of come up with a rule that can be applied to any arithmetic sequence whenever we want to find any term in the sequence in any position. So we're going to say Tn. As an example, do you see over here, if we know this term, this is term number 3, and we know that this term number 3 is equal to 3, for us to get the next term, we simply add D. So this means that Tn is going to be equal to Tn plus 1. Let's say, let me just get an eraser. Okay. Tn plus 1. Tn plus 1. So Tn plus 1 is simply equal to Tn plus the common difference. And in this case, Tn plus 1 would be, we're looking for 4. So as an example, we're saying 3 is in position n. And then, if it's in position n, that means 4 is in position n plus 1, because they're successive terms. So this means that Tn plus 1, which is the 4, must be equal to Tn, which is the 3, plus D, which is the 1. So this is like your general formula. This is your general formula. And another one is that this is a simple one whereby we're given that we're looking for a particular term in the sequence. So we're sort of looking for term number 3, and we already know term number, okay, no, wait, this is term number 4, and we already know term number 3. So the next formula that I'm going to give you is the one whereby we don't know the previous term, right? So it's just going to be Tn. So the next general formula is that Tn is equal to, let's talk about it. The other thing that I forgot to mention is the letter A. So A is the first term of the sequence, so I'm going to denote it as T1. Okay, so for any sequence that is given, we'll always know the first term, right? So Tn is equal to A, the first term, plus, do you agree with me that let me just do this, okay, do you agree with me that if we wanted to find 3, all that we do is to say, okay, 3 is in position number 3, that's okay. So all that we're doing is that we're saying the first term, which is T1 plus 2. And what's 2? 2 is simply, in this case, 2 is simply going to be equal to n minus 1. So 3 is in position n, so that's 3 minus 1 multiplied by the common difference, which is 1. Okay, so we sort of come up with the following formula where we say Tn is equal to n minus 1, whereby n is the position of the term, and all of this is multiplied by the letter D, which is the common difference. And this is the widely used general formula. So whenever they're saying find the general formula of a sequence, they are looking for this one. Okay, they're looking for this. Okay, this is the general formulae of an arithmetic sequence. Okay, this is all I had for you in this part of the video. Please be sure to check out part 2